Yes, a life-threatening virus could strike Europe. For us to feel safe in this case, we must be prepared to respond appropriately. We must prepare ourselves for the successful treatment of this event, which means that this deadly virus will not escape to Europe. In this case we have developed very specific procedures. More specifically, we randomly select a first public health area, e.g. northern Israel, and examine it in terms of a public health response. That is, we examine according to the protocol we developed whether this region in question in terms of public health is able to control all cases of possible disasters. Suppose the answer to our research is affirmative. It means that people and goods can travel safely to Europe without restrictions. We're moving our research to an area adjacent to northern Israel, like southern Lebanon, with the same protocol questions. We are trying to understand whether South Lebanon can successfully respond to a potential disaster. If in this case the answer is hypothetically partial affirmative, this means that the European authorities will most likely order restrictive measures against it in order to protect itself. But before the very possible European reaction, which is that the authorities there take restrictive measures, according to the protocol, we ask the authorities of the South Lebanon. We ask them whether they wish to cooperate with neighboring public health authorities, for example northern Israel, to ensure an adequate and integrated response to disasters in southern Lebanon. If Lebanon's answer is yes, this means that in the event of a disaster in the south of the country, health authorities will collaborate with northern Israel. In terms of security in case of disaster, South Lebanon fulfills all the protocol conditions for people and goods from there to continue to contact Europe. Then we ask the same security question again under the protocol also for the public health authorities of southern Syria. In other words, we ask if they have the ability and all the means to deal with a possible disaster in terms of public health. Suppose the answer to the question is no, possibly due to the long war, which makes perfect sense. In other words, there are not enough resources for a successful public health response in case of a disaster in southern Syria. But this situation presents a very possible risk for Europe if we wish to travel there. The decision of the European authorities means that the Syrian region will be excluded for contacts with Europe of any kind. For the sake of public safety and good health, people will be forbidden to leave for Europe. But before that, we call upon the protocol of the system to develop a final question. Would the public health authorities in southern Syria cooperate with a higher-level public health neighbor? Are they interested in cooperating with Israel on public health issues and have access to special supplies in disasters? If the answer is no, we as Syrians do not want to cooperate with Israel, then Europe may very well forbid contact with southern Syria. That is, Europe to protect itself and propose quarantine in this area of Syria. Prohibit people and goods from leaving for Europe because there will be a risk for a deadly virus to escape due to lack of control. The bottom line is that a successful response in the Middle East to a potential catastrophe requires cooperation. Countries in the region with fewer public health resources are indeed concerned on their ability to successfully manage disasters. But the concerns are satisfied if they work together effectively, in pairs, to avoid dramatic situations for Europe, for example epidemics. Let them in the Middle East once again be informed that the civilized world is already helping and will continue to help them in whatever ways it can. Also bear in mind that the civilized world supports solutions that only the people concerned believe are satisfied to believe will alleviate the problems of the region. But there is only one requirement. The leaders and states there refrain from doing things and create situations that could lead to dangerous situations for Europe. In this case, Europe will have to react from before and then.